All right, folks, welcome back. Here's the first of two streams on the channel today. We're here for release notes. Forrest, the last release notes of the 2025 year. What do you got for us today?
This is true. We have version 5.18, and it's kind of a fairly standard release, but we did something along the side. Sort of, I took one little side quest. I've been on a couple side quests lately. This was one of the first side quests that I did, was to modernize our Terraform provider. So that is a community sort of driven project. It's not something that we typically task our engineers or do heavy roadmap around, because they have a great open source ecosystem. You know, people understand it because there's so many providers out there and editing them and all that. But ours was written a long time ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. We could look at probably commits on this other page I have. But it was written a long time ago, using Terraform's old frameworks and all that kind of stuff. And every time I went in to maybe approve some PRs and engage with the community every couple months, I would just get reminded passively, hey, this is way out of date. This is really old. So my side quest, to describe a little bit, I got access to an AI tool we were using, evaluating Cursor, and I used that to completely, and I say completely modernize the Terraform provider. All new frameworks, and ironically, it was like a 4-step process. Because I think, as we've talked about on previous streams, we've been improving our open API spec, right, on the docs.
Yeah.
That open API spec, we had to make part of the cleanup of that was to drive our Go SDK. The Go SDK is used by the Terraform provider. And then we got all the way to actually doing magic with the Terraform provider. So it was 4 repos between open source and adding features and the Go provider, and then all the way down to Terraform. I can share my screen. I'll stop talking about what I did and show you what we have. And allow. Oh, I wonder if something changed and I can't share. Well, we're going to try. We're still going to try. Window. We're going to be bold and go entire screen here.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Can you see entire screen?
There we go.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, so here is our Rundeck provider docs on the Terraform registry site. Added to the docs is an upgrading the Rundeck provider set of steps. One of the goals here was that all of the plans that everyone is using today still work. Your plan should still work. That is my goal.
Yeah.
And we did do quite a bit of testing. I think even some of the community members caught the pull request that I was working on and were asking when it was going to go out, because they were starting their projects. But the goal was all of that, that existing plans work. Few things that it brings to the table, that there was a workaround that was needed on the older versions, that you had to turn on a feature that we were deprecating.
Oh.
Right, it was still using the old XML API. That is gone. You don't have to use the legacy XML anymore. It is fully running using our JSON API through the Go SDK, and everything is still fully functional. The other interesting thing going through it is we found a ton of bugs, and significantly improved the testing framework. So if we kind of look a little bit at the code, I'm just going to spin through this a little bit quickly. There's a whole new test section down here. A lot of these tests both are run automatically, as a CI/CD type of process, but that it only runs against the open source version in CI/CD. Up for enterprise, I had it build out a way to fully test using the enterprise steps that might be in there, or the enterprise capabilities that are available in the Rundeck provider, and a way to test custom. This test custom is key, because if someone's going to do development on it, they can now run the tests themselves, and it will build the provider and use that build locally. That was always a pain point for me developing it. Was, I don't know, over the years I did it a couple different ways, but now you can just follow. There's some instructions, right, to get it going here in this particular README in the test folder, but it will just build the provider changes that you've added. If you clone the repo, run the tests, let you know how it went with your plan file.
So that sounds awesome.
Really streamline that whole dynamic.
Nice.
Fixed, I think. I'm going to check in here. Oh, there's two new issues open yesterday. Shoot, I planned for this meeting yesterday, and the only thing in here was an enhancement. I will take a look at these today.
That's how open source works, man. Like, you're not looking, somebody's gonna put something in on you.
Once you look away, something happens.
Yep.
I will. I can't comment on these because I'm just seeing them right now. But we had fully cleared kind of a backlog of issues. Some might have been try again, but I know that certain things were also fixed that were outstanding. So if anyone had anything outstanding, if anyone wants something, also in our code list we have, I believe we are supposed to have a to-do file. These are things we plan on doing in the future. And if there's something else, please put it in that issues list. Vote for something in the to-do list, or add to the to-do list, or grab a copy of Cursor yourself and do a to-do list item. Would be fun too. Let's see some pull requests. Yeah. I see a few pull requests. I think those are just dependabot stuff. So
it's always in there to make you nervous more than anything else.
That is true. Any questions? What do you think, Mandy?
Yeah, no, there's some folks out there with us. So if you do have any questions, let us know in the chat. We're on LinkedIn, and if you're watching us on Twitch out there, definitely you can chat with us from there. But yeah, so no, it looks good. Like Terraform is one of those things that I think everybody kind of struggles with making sure it stays up to date, but also stays nice and clean. And yeah, that's awesome.
This new framework does a lot. I guess it does a lot better. I don't know all the details on it. I'm not a Terraform expert. Other people can comment and let us know what we don't know, but it does a lot better with plan drift. I know we troubleshoot a lot of issues around that. This release also adds the ability to do runner resources with the Terraform provider. That was one of the driving forces. One of our developers here wanted to use it for that, so he was super. Luis Toledo was super helpful with getting this into the provider as well. So
sweet.
Let's move on to real release notes. And in fun news, I've revamped a little bit of release notes recently. They look a little different. Here's our Terraform provider that we just talked about, but we've got, hopefully we're going to start getting a little bit better details on some of our updates and fixes, and what did we do, and what is that thing. So we, for this release, added configuration option to the SSM timeout. There are docs, and more specifics around some of that. There's set asleep timeout and the SFTP plugin. But bigger picture, hopefully this new format for our release notes will help better, highlight what's in this release, what impacts might it have, etc. Also, for those that might be using our SaaS product, you can also keep up on recent changes. I can see that this needs a refresh. And it should be on 5.18 and be blank because 5.18 is out and SAS is running on that. But it's actually a little fortuitous that this didn't quite get all the way updated. Is as we roll out changes to the product, we release them to SAS before they go out in our GA releases and the releases that you and I get together monthly-ish and talk about. They will hit our SAS product iteratively on a weekly basis.
Okay.
This is the place to come and check what has happened since this, except for right now. I will fix this later.
Cool. Looks good. Call outs for each individual thing and like the additional discussion for all of this stuff here.
Yeah, we did a lot of automation around this, so it's actually driven off of all the pull request contents, and I'm using again AI to help look at either what the developers did, what might have been in the original ticket, etc., and help write better summaries of what that thing might be. We're still picking what shows up in the list because there's a lot of stuff and a lot of pull requests on the back end that I don't maybe aren't necessary to highlight in a release note.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think it's user impacting or user interesting, we put it in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of CVs in this one. Again, is there something here that people should be watching for and make sure they upgrade with? Do we have anything that's really something that they should make sure they get to?
No, there were some high ones. Honestly, with the CVEs, because I've been heavily involved in fixing a lot of those, like directly involved.
Yeah.
Vast majority, we tended to not be, well, I want to be careful what I say here, but they're high risk. We do mitigate them, as quickly as we find them. We also find a lot of false positives that are listed under our site here that, some of these will still show up. There may or may not be an easy path for us to just, put in a new package because of the complexity of the product, but we're also not vulnerable to it for a variety of reasons, right? We don't use Safe Constructor, right? It's not in the code anywhere. Right, so this is kind of our place to say that, and some of the others are similar, but my sort of approach and guidance is that if we can upgrade it, it can't hurt to upgrade it and let the scan come out clean.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics on each one. We regularly scan. If something pops on our list, we just see if we can upgrade to the safe version.
Yeah, cool.
But outside of that, I think the enhanced Open API, we're trying to improve continually trying to now improve that Open API documentation.
Yeah.
So that we can move. My hope is with a forthcoming version, we will move this Open API Explorer and our use of our Open API, doc, which is generated dynamically from the code, that we use that as our primary and only API documentation.
Nice.
This file is super helpful if you use something like Postman, or even on this, from your browser with this tool, you can put in your key, put in your server, and it will give you the curl command. Like, it'll just write out the whole curl command for you. Like if I fake this and say, my token is token, and I set that, and I go to one of these calls, now I can just come and copy and paste the request. It's got it all built out for me with the right URL, the version, and all of that. I can copy this, run it in my commands. I think you can even execute it. I haven't tried that, but I have done the copy and paste, and it works.
Nice.
Or if you import it into Postman, there's all kinds of cool Postman things that it does too.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a super powerful tool for folks who are working with API.
So this open API spec is the way, and
Yeah.
I think that in the new year we're going to promote this to first class reference for the API and get rid of this long, hard to maintain monolith of a page of a markdown. This is all in the back end in markdown. Like it's really
oh my god. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Okay. Sweet.
Yep.
Right.
Latest release notes link is always here. History is all still here as well. And previous version docs. I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you're self-hosted and you're running on one of those kind of much older versions, you can still get to what the docs were at that state, right? If you wanted to see what 5.3.0 looks like, but upgrading is also the way.
Yes, please. Please upgrade. Absolutely. We did have someone list one of the earlier CVs from August in social media, some kind of CVE tracker. So we did reply to that last week. It got flagged by our social media team, but it was something that had been fixed in August in, I think, the 5.14 or 5.13 release. So if anyone saw that on X.
Yeah. They had let us know before beforehand, and that's published on our list of CVE on that CVE's page there. I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I could probably pull it out, but they let us know ahead of time. We fixed the problem before they announced, and it does. You do need to upgrade to 5.17 to fix it.
Yes. Yep. There we go. That was what it was from last week. Awesome. So yeah, that was already taken care of.
Yep. So please upgrade. Love the engagement on the Terraform provider. I'm going to go check that out. Check that out next.
Definitely.
And hopefully, we get some more development going with that easy test framework we built out.
Oh yeah, like that seems like such a awesome thing to lower the barrier to entry for folks that want to contribute to that. That's amazing.
That's been the power of using these AI coding partners that it has been for me is that was really just a question that popped in my head as I was doing that, because I had to go do a complicated thing. So I just said, how can we make this easier? Can we have a script, or can we have a way that customers just do one thing and it jumps through all these hoops for it? Or I forget exactly how I asked the question. It was more in context of what we're doing at the moment, but I just said, hey, can we solve this problem here?
Yeah.
And yes, I see you also shared my LinkedIn article from yesterday.
Yes.
That is the second and much larger side quest that you can track on the Rundeck. A little bit on the Rundeck open source, doing a Grails migration. I think I'm up over. I'd have to look. There's some funny stats that I was also looking at. Oh my goodness! Why is Joey here? Hi, Joey.
Hey, Joey.
I have this beard because I've spent the last 9 days tackling a 6-month migration. Go.
Oh, well, yeah. You don't have time for that stuff that's not important. So,
for those watching this on YouTube or something, Joey is chatting at us in our live chat stream. I don't know which Discord, maybe.
Yeah, he's coming in from Twitch. So. Yeah, he used to work here on this team and has moved on to other things.
He's the one that started the hats and zip ups that I now have to do both since Jake is on to greener pastures within PagerDuty. He didn't leave. He's still around. I didn't comment on the hat. This is from, again, our Kubernetes con that we got to hang out at, Mandy.
Yep.
So Joey, come back and join us on a stream and tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, definitely. You have to wear a hat though. So.
Great. All right. Awesome. Thanks for the trip down memory lane, Joey, and we will see everyone in the new year with Terraform ideas and Grail's upgrade projects.
Awesome. Sounds great. We'll be back here in the same channel whenever you're ready for the next one. So keep an eye out, everybody. We'll post on LinkedIn like we have been, or you can join us here on Twitch, and we'll see everybody in the new year.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Sounds good. See you later.